Gonna be a hell of a slate.
Coming off a big win.
Yeah, for sure. What's going on, everybody? Here we are, live before lock, Monday, right? Yeah, Monday, June 10th. Got the three-man band together. I am joined by Jake Hari. I'm joined by Chris Randone. We're having a little three-way live before lock. What's going on, guys?
Yeah, man. Looking forward to it. This should be a fun one. Add a little flavor to the Monday night live before lock. What's up, Chris?
Man, what's going on? Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see if you could go back to back, Josh.
That would not be the first time that I went back to back in that tournament this year. So, I've already proven that I can. So I think that I'll do it again tonight. Why not? Although Monday is my worst day, so it's the only day that I'm in the negative this season.
You calling your shot? Is that what I hear?
Oh, that would be fine. I'd rather call my shot in the queue than the beanball, but either way, it's fine.
So you playing the queue?
A little bit.
I figured that's things have a way of repeating themselves. So
yeah, I told Adam earlier today. I just want to put this out there now. I have this feeling. It's stupid. It's the same way that like Sean V gets feelings for this stuff.
So smart.
I have this feeling that because I entered, Adam is going to beat me and win this Q seat just so that he can talk about beating me Wednesday morning on the show together.
Is he in it?
Today, yes.
Oh, okay. So he's coming for your trip to San Diego.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Man.
But that's just my feel right now that I am pushing him into the good luck today.
What's the entry fee for that?
15, I believe.
$15 or
yes, $15.
Oh, okay.
Not in pesos or anything.
No, I was thinking 1,500.
Oh no,
like a big queue like that.
No.
Okay.
I mean, if it was depending on how many seats, it's all kind of the same. All right, we got a kind of weird one here. So I'm gonna throw this to you, Jake, just because I talked to Chris before the show started a little bit about it. What are your thoughts on Yankees Mets right now, or the Phillies game, or just weather in general?
Yankees Mets looks pretty dicey. I'm very interested, going to keep a close eye on the postponement risk in the rankings on the site. So that's basically what I go off of. Like I was telling people earlier today on the strategy show with Adam, like if Alex is changing his process because of a game that's involving weather, then so should I. And you can see that with the postponement risk on the projections right on the site. So, not even plugging the site. That's actually what I do. So right now it's 0. If that changes, I will adjust. But I also saw him on the deeper dive, and he was saying that unless he hears something more concerning, he's just treating it like it's going to play. So that's how I will do it until further notice.
So something I pay attention to for sure is that postponement risk. And I guess I'll throw this to both of you now. Are either of you looking at Masahiro Tanaka? And if so, what does the weather in New York do to that sort of decision? Feel free to grab it either way.
Yeah, I mean, I did like Tanaka before. Now, Jake made a great point. It's just having the risk of the postponement. It really makes you decide whether or not you want to risk pitching or choosing any pitcher from those two slates. I mean, to be honest with you, it's not worth the risk if there's a high postponement rate. And I mean, with the bats, I mean, I guess it's here or there, but it's for me, especially like Tanaka at 8,900 on FanDuel, I don't think it's worth the risk.
One pitcher site and, making one lineup or a few lineups, I think there's no way I would go to Tanaka. Two pitcher site being an MME player, like I will probably have some Tanaka. I was going to be below the field anyways. And if people are still going to play him at the ownership that they're going to play him on DraftKings, it's looking like.
Speaking of, ownership just got updated.
Okay, I'll post that in my sheet. I think quick refresh. Where's Tanaka at now?
Yeah, so
19 on DK.
Yeah, he's still near the top. I mean, he's the 4th, 5th highest owned player, 2nd highest owned, 3rd highest owned pitcher. So that's pretty substantial. I don't know. It seems dicey though. I don't know if he'll be there by the time we get to lock. And he's not going to be there for me really anyways, just based on his ownership and the way that other players project below him for similar value and even better value in some cases.
Yeah, so I'm a little nervous because he's probably my second favorite pitcher on DraftKings. And I assume that if there's no weather, I probably end up with like 40 to 50% Tanaka. and now I need to make that. I probably have a decent amount of Herman Marquez as well. He is clearly not going owned. I don't know what to do because of the weather, because that's sort of I'm expecting to wipe the Yankees and Mets off of my board for pitching. Or I guess, well, I don't want to say, I was about to say, obviously I have no problem wiping the Mets off. But before I go into my Tanaka take, I think someone involved in this show right now has a little bit of interest in Jason Vargas.
Oh, couldn't be me.
I mean, yeah, I wanted to ride the train again. Last week, I kind of posted about him playing at home against San Fran. And I mean, obviously he's going to have no ownership tonight, just like last week. And the Yankees bats don't really fare well against left-hand pitching at home. So, I mean, why not, especially in a SP2 format, or if you're looking to pay up like in that Colorado-Chicago game for the bats. I mean, Vargas could be that, that interesting play that has the potential, but probably a lot of people figured he'd probably get blown out.
Jake, any Vargas for you?
Are you talking about on FanDuel, Chris?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind him as an SP2. He's kind of a little bit more pricey compared to last week, so I probably would write him off on DK. But on FanDuel, I wouldn't mind playing around with him for a little bit. Okay,
yeah, I think as weird as it seems, like I think I would rather play him on FanDuel if I was going somewhere, just because he's below 7K. Like, if you want to fit all the expensive bats in, like you said, all he has to do is just be decent, just survive. And he's shown he can get strikeouts lately. So while I don't love him as a pitcher, I'm more okay with that on FanDuel. On DraftKings, there's just too many other guys around him that are more talented and or in better matchups and don't have to deal with rain. So that's my issue with him over there. But if you think the game's going to go like on FanDuel, I don't have a problem with that.
I mean, what's crazy too is he threw 117 pitches last game, and then the game before that, I think it was 98, or it's 215 pitches or 217 pitches last two games. And the thing is New York, at home against left-handed pitching this year, they've striked out 29% of the time against left-handed, which is second highest in the league. So, like I said, 6,800. If I'm looking to pay up for bats and I'm looking for that low-tier pitcher that has some potential upside, who's thrown 61 points and 40 points his last two games, I don't mind taking a gamble there on a couple lineups with him.
Sure.
Yeah, that one would probably feel a little bit different if like Judge and Stanton were in the lineup.
That's two amazing hitters.
Yeah.
I just like they're tailor-made to just absolutely eviscerate left-handed like soft tossers.
Oh yeah.
So I get the appeal there on a less than Yankees team at this point. All right, so let's talk about the guy that's making the biggest waves. That would be Chris Sale. 30% ownership on FanDuel right now. 50 on DK. I liked it better earlier today when it was a little bit lower. We'll throw it to you, Jake. How you feeling about Chris Sale today? Any problems getting big numbers here?
No problem getting big numbers. DraftKings has just done a terrible job of pricing him specifically, but like a few other guys like down the entire season. So I think I mentioned it maybe a couple weeks ago, and maybe I heard Alex say it, but I heard him say it again recently. Like, they're just not pricing these stud pitchers up as much as they have been. Like last year, I felt like we had a 12K pitcher every single slate, it seemed like. And this year, that's just not the case. So you're seeing Sale at under 11K. He looks amazing. He's missing as many bats as anyone in the entire league. And he's got a good matchup against Texas. They're striking out, I think, over 20 or around 24% to lefties. It doesn't really matter. Sale can strike out whoever. So, I'm playing as much as possible. If I got 100%, I would roll with that. But I'm probably going to get more into the 65 to 80% range tonight.
Okay. Yeah, I expect to be the same area. Alex actually just, the boss man himself, Alex Osimo Baker, just dropped in a little note into YouTube chat. He is upping his risk for the New York game, but he does not think an in-game delay is likely. The worst case scenario is that more rain builds up and delays the game too long to play.
Okay. So what that means is what he's essentially saying is that if the game starts, the game's fine, and you play it normal. But we'll know if it's delayed like 15 minutes before the start time, correct?
We should know if there's a delay before we're done this show.
Okay.
which isn't really fun for me and you and everybody else trying to crunch this stuff out. But at least it's a 9-game slate, so crunches move a little faster.
Yeah, true.
Chris, what do you want to do with other Chris Sale?
Yeah, I mean, I agreed with everything that Jake just said. He's the best pitcher on the slate by far. Highest potential, highest ceiling. Texas is the worst team when it comes to left-handed pitching, and they own the highest strikeout rate in baseball on the road versus left-handed pitching. So I honestly don't see Chris Sale struggling in this matchup. I think the only thing we would probably have to worry about is this northeast storm. Does it affect the game? Does it get delayed? Does he only get a couple innings in? I mean, that's probably the biggest question that I have right now at this point.
Yeah, judging from what I was looking at before, I think Sale should be fine. Does give me a little pause for like Red Sox hitters. Luckily, they're facing Mike Minor, who's decent, so the appeal for the Red Sox is a little bit lower than it normally is. But I can't imagine not wanting to have whatever amount of Sale I get to. He's just very clearly the best pitcher on this slate. It's not even really close any other direction.
What'd you get to him? What have you guys got to him so far in your builds?
I had like 75 or something when I ran my crunch this morning when you were on with Adam. I haven't run anything since then.
Okay.
I don't get the sense that that's going to change all that much. I would expect, let's say, probably 70-ish% of my ownership to go to Sale, Marquez, and Tanaka.
On FanDuel?
On DraftKings.
Oh, okay. So 100.
Well, I mean, I guess both sites.
Got it. What about you, Chris? Where were you getting to Sale?
Sale, I mean, it's pretty high on FanDuel, looking at 60% right now. But the thing is, like, I don't know if I want that. I'd probably get it down to like 45. But on DraftKings, it's almost every single lineup. Yeah, and just pairing them with different pitchers across the board.
Yeah, I think we all agree that you should play as much Sale as possible. The question is, if you're making multiple lineups, Sale does, he's not free. He does still handcuff you in terms of the bats you can get. So if you're on DraftKings with the dynamic pricing or Yahoo, there's a couple really expensive teams. I'm sure same thing on FanDuel. If you're putting in your stack first, you may not end up on Sale, but it's not for lack of trying, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, plenty of options at the bottom too. Chris, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say the thing about this slate is there's one other pitcher in Charlie Morton that's really highly priced, and then outside of that, it's like you can really dabble with everyone else. I mean, there's also Ryu, but other than that, I mean, everyone's pretty much in like the 6,000, 8,000 range. So it's nice because you don't have to worry about pairing him with another high-priced pitcher. You get the flexibility of getting some salary relief from that aspect, at least.
Yeah.
You mentioned Charlie Morton, second most ownership right now on DraftKings. He is third in ownership on FanDuel. There's an outlier on FanDuel that we need to get to, but let's just touch on Morton here. Grades out really well in our site projections. He is the second highest projection of any pitcher on the slate. 26% feels kind of high for him today, just given where the rest of the salaries are. Chris, do you think you're going to be getting to Morton here above, below, with the field?
I'm going to be below the field, just solely based on the fact that I want to be heavy on Sale.
Okay.
But I think also what the only thing is Morton's a great pitcher, especially at home. And I mean, hitters are really struggling against him this year. But the thing with the A's lineup is a bunch of them really don't strike out much. And so I'm wondering if this will be a matchup where he'll get outs, but will he produce strikeouts enough to where it's in comparison to Sale? And that's right. Like the biggest question I ask myself, especially when I'm paying up for a pitcher at that price point.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jake.
No, I mean, if I was playing on FanDuel, I think I would share that same take. It's just tough to get not to Sale if you're getting to that range for pitching. So on really any site. So I don't know. It's going to be a lot of Sale, and then not much after that. Everything kind of falls off a cliff for me after that.
So you're anticipating being quite a bit below on Morton on DK?
Let's see. I am anticipating that. Let's see where I'm at right now. Yeah, I was below by 10% the last time we did up ownership. So
okay. So Chris, I know you were talking about FanDuel earlier, and thinking about Vargas as a potential pay down option. But there's a pay down option out there right now that is the second most owned pitcher, and it's not Jason Vargas, and it's not Michael Wacha. Kevin Gausman at 6K on FanDuel right now, projected for 20% ownership. And I'm not going to lie, I think it makes a lot of sense at that price tag. Are you getting to any Kevin Gausman?
This is very interesting. I mean, bottom priced, and he's playing a team that he just got rocked by.
Yes, he did.
and I'm just thinking to myself, the narrative here is, I don't know what type of pitcher Gausman is this year, because he started off pretty strong and just lately he hasn't been able to turn it around. So I'm just wondering, I'm going to have probably a few shares. I'm not going to have 20% worth, but he is low priced, and just based on historicals earlier this year, he does have that capability of getting there. Pittsburgh's not the greatest offense, so
yeah, if he drops like a 50-point game at 6K, that's really going to break stuff up.
Yeah,
it's going to make things really crazy on FanDuel.
Well, it's going to make it so, because one of these expensive stacks are going to go off. It's going to mess up everything on all the sites. If one of these low price pitchers goes for 25 on DraftKings, or like you mentioned, like 45, 50, somewhere in there on FanDuel, like Sale is obviously the best play and like the best value, but even if Sale gets 65 on DraftKings, if the expensive bats go nuts like they do sometimes, and you've got a bunch of teams with 5+ totals tonight, so a lot of candidates for that, then it may not ultimately matter. So maybe that's why, like, I know I keep talking about Sale, but he's kind of the key to the slate as far as what you're going to do with him after that.
So Gausman is chalky on FanDuel. There's a bunch of pay down options that are all in relatively similar sections on DraftKings. Who do you like most out of the trash heap, Jake?
So Gausman's actually a guy that I wasn't getting too much. I got 6%.
Okay.
On the last crunch. Oddly enough, I got to Wacha a bunch. Alex just has him as a pretty good value.
Yeah.
And if people are just going to completely overlook a pitcher, albeit not a great pitcher, maybe some would argue a bad pitcher in Wacha, but he's going up against the Marlins in Miami. It's just a 4 implied total against him. And if he's going to be the guy that, like, if the ownership's going to be equal, I'll just take the guy with the best matchup more often than not. So he was kind of the only guy I was getting to above the field down there.
Okay.
Him and Alcantara, as you like to say, Josh.
I was told that I am very much correct in my office hours today, just FYI.
So Adam is the one that is incorrect.
Yes. That's what I'm being told. But
right,
I mean, we all know that that's going to be the case.
Yeah, definitely.
So I have a question for both of you. Are either one of you going to be joining me on Yu Darvish Hill today?
Let's see.
I thought about it earlier, and I don't know how I feel yet still. And to just go real quick on Wacha.
Oh yeah, sure.
He came off as a reliever, I think, the last game or the last 2 games. And one thing that stands out, which makes it more intriguing to roster him tonight, is the previous 4 or 5 games, Wacha couldn't get his fastball above, I think it was 90, 91 miles an hour. On his last 2 relief stints, or his last relief stint, whatever the case may be, he was hitting 94, 95 consistent. So, I mean, that's a huge difference when throwing the fastball. So, I mean, if there's any sign of hope that maybe he's starting to get back in his groove or find his stuff again, it'd be a nice matchup for him tonight going against one of the worst offenses in the league.
Be starring in that How Wacha Got His Groove Back movie.
Exactly.
I don't have the goods right now.
But Yu Darvish, I mean, Colorado strikes out a lot, but at Colorado and the weather is going to be looking nice. I don't know, man. Maybe a small percentage, but I don't know if I can. I don't think I want to roster him.
I'm going to have a boatload of both of these guys, Marquez and Darvish.
Which site, or just across all? I know you mentioned Marquez for every site, but are you just looking at Darvish more on DraftKings as a pay down option? Like, because he has. So the thing with Darvish is his command is bad oftentimes, but he has had success while still walking 2 to 4 guys in starts. So it's not the end of the world. It's obviously not optimal in Coors, but you're paying $6,200 for him on DraftKings against a team like Chris mentioned that strikes out a bunch versus righties. And you want to take some of that variance out of it when you go into Coors Field. Darvish throws a fastball and a slider, Adam said this morning. So that should play okay in Coors. It shouldn't hurt. Like, it's not like he throws a big looping curve or something. So yeah, I like going to Darvish on DraftKings. I'm not going as crazy as you, Josh, I don't think. But I got 18% of him. Where are you at?
Did you say 18?
On DraftKings. Yeah.
Okay. I expect to be somewhere in that neighborhood.
Okay. Sounded like you were saying like you wanted 40% Darvish.
No, I think that's more likely for Marquez. But I like Darvish on D. I don't get the sense that I'll get to too much Darvish on FanDuel just because I know he's behind Sale, Marquez. Who am I missing? Oh, Tanaka, which we'll see where we end up there. So the thing that's making me really nervous is the fact that Alex has German Marquez projected really poorly, and I'm getting scared now.
He also upped the risk another bump in New York. So he updated it. I think there's a 15% risk. Now it's up to 25.
Okay. That's going to be pretty interesting for Masahiro Tanaka exposure. A different person that from time to time looks at weather is getting a little nervous about the Philly game as well.
Well, a different person who plays tens of thousands of dollars a night in entry fees is not worried about Philadelphia. So
I think that's something we're missing, though, in the worry, because postpone risk and delays are two very different things. Like, we can think that a game's not going to get postponed, and that can be 0, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you should just be running out a full blast of starting pitchers where there could be a delay. Would you agree?
Say that again?
So, like, what Alex is showing in the projections table is the postponement risk, the chances that the game does not happen. That's not necessarily taking into account whether or not there's an in-game delay that affects your starting pitching.
Sure.
So that gives me a little bit of pause where if I'm going to have a starter, I need that dude to pitch 6 innings. And if there's going to be like a big rain cloud in the middle of the second, it might not get postponed, but if that stops my pitcher from pitching for 45 minutes and he's done, like, that also matters.
That's so tough to predict with the timing. I mean, it's tough enough trying to predict weather. It's tough enough trying to predict baseball. But at least if the game starts, like, they feel like they're getting it in.
Sure.
So you're hopefully getting at least 5. But from what I understand also with the postponement risk, Alex doesn't change the player's projection or adjust their projection unless he finds postponement risk.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense to me. It's just something that I am conscious of for my pitching exposure. It won't matter today because I don't care at all about Eichhoff and and Taylor Clark. So that game could stop itself 25 times and it's not going to matter at all because I won't have those guys. That's
how do we feel about Anibal Sanchez?
Is he on the slate?
Yeah.
You serious, John? You're supposed to be professional, John.
I mean, I'm not serious.
Well, then you clearly have no shares of him. That's for sure.
I would imagine that I don't get there.
Okay.
Again, right now well, you know what? I can't even say that I won't because I'm going to. If this holds for the next 10 minutes, I am probably wiping the Mets and Yanks off the table. And at that point in time, all bets are off as to where the rest of that Masahiro Tanaka exposure goes for me. So talk to me about Anibal Sanchez. What are you seeing that you like?
I mean, he's on FanDuel. He's $200 more than Darvish. And he's playing against a Chicago team that strikes out a lot. And for me personally, I guess I would feel more confident in rostering Sanchez as I would Darvish going into Colorado. And being that it's a $200 price difference, ownership's kind of almost there in the single-digit percentile. So I would just, on a confidence level, probably feel better against the Chicago lineup against Sanchez and rostering Sanchez rather than Darvish going into Colorado and facing all those lefties.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree there. I think I like Gausman better than both of those guys, just because of that price tag.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would give a slight lean to Sanchez over Darvish on FanDuel.
I would. Oh, on FanDuel. Okay.
Yeah, on DraftKings, it's a $1,900 price gap between
Yeah.
Sanchez. So
Yeah,
it's a
DraftKings.
very different conversation.
Okay,
It's too expensive.
Josh, you possibly want to check out the projections. It got upped again, the risk in New York. So for me, what that's going to do is pretty much wipe out the Yankee game.
Yeah, it's coming off the board.
Okay, it just got postponed.
It did?
Yeah.
Cool. There you go, everybody. Yankees-Mets is postponed. Honestly, I wish they
All
would have
my
waited
Vargas
25
shares.
more minutes for that.
All your what shares?
All my Vargas shares.
Pour one out. Pour one out.
At least you have that one complete game shutout, though, at 1% ownership. I don't know if you're going to make a better call than that this season.
Yeah.
I guess that rose died, huh?
Oh my God.
Done.
Josh, you really don't have it today.
Do I ever have it?
You do. I mean, but that one was rough. What were we going to talk? Oh, yeah, dong picks.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say, I've got something to talk about.
There you go.
So, dong picks. Just in case no one's aware, and I would like to make sure that everybody is aware of this. Guess who got one yesterday? Bingo. This guy. Right here. Pretty big day yesterday. Binking tournaments, picking dongs. Just can't get enough. So I had Yordan Alvarez, whatever that means, yesterday. He hit a dong. No Ryan Braun dong for EMAC. So the count stands at this. 12 dongs for EMAC. Myself and Chris are both tied at 10, but I've done it in 9 picks. He's done it in 10. Chris does have a little bit better of a pick rate, though. He has gotten 24% of his right compared to my 22. Jake, you are now officially bringing up the rear with just 9 dongs, 9 total correct picks. So.
Wait, hold on. Can we at least celebrate, my first Dawn pick was a success, and I have 100% Dawn rate success right now?
Yes.
I'm 1 for 1.
Yes. You are 100. You have a 100% dong rate right now.
All right, let's go.
Who was that courtesy of?
Encarnacion, I think, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
Thanks for the shout out, Josh. Appreciate it.
It's not on the sheet. I forgot. My memory is garbage. If it didn't happen yesterday, I'll pretty much forget. I'm like a goldfish.
No, that's fine.
All right. Have we gotten that Angels lineup by any chance?
We have not. I was kind of waiting on that one. As long as Trout and Ohtani are in it, though. The question is going to be whether or not Fletcher is in the lineup and or leading off. So that kind of matters for a $3,300 player on DraftKings, especially. But
sure. All right, we'll give the guest star the first pick here in the dong.
Well, I will say
contest.
I do like the Angels as a surprise stack tonight. I didn't talk them up, but I'm thinking Ryu might have his first difficult contest tonight. I'm just saying.
Okay.
wow.
Yeah.
It's a pretty bold call.
Yeah. I'm liking the righty heavy lineup if they roll it out with it. Dom pick. I'm gonna go a little bit off the wall, have a little fun with it, but I'm gonna go with Harold Ramirez of Miami Marlins.
My goodness.
Didn't see that going that way. Harold Ramirez, really?
I swear to God.
Harold Ramirez,
Awful Waka. So
coming in at number 143 of 154 today. So if you get this one, I think we might just give you 10 total dongs, and we're going to treat this like we're all equal for the rest of the season.
I'll take it. Harold Ramirez is going off Bomb City.
I love this. I love this so much. I have him projected to hit .06 home runs today.
All it takes is a half of
It does. Hey, I'm excited for it. I'm going to be paying attention to it now. Jake, you want next?
Yeah. I usually just take someone that I'm heavily exposed to. Give me Ronald Acuna. Where does he rank on your list?
Ronald Acuna coming in 38th.
So list still broken. Very good. What about you? What do you got, Josh?
That's a good question. Which direction do I want to go? I would really like to make that pick, but I do not trust that game. Yeah, give me 1 second. Let me pull some
Mookie
of
Betts?
these. No.
How about JT Riddle?
No. I'm trying to. So I was going to take Jay Bruce, but I'm a little nervous about that game, so I'm just going to avoid it. No, this one, no problem here. Now I don't know what to do. Anytime I have it between two teammates, whoever I pick, the other guy dongs. So pay attention to this, guys, because it's happened at least twice for the Brewers. I am going to take Juan Soto. I expect Matt Adams to hit a home run now.
Rendon's hitting a home run then for sure.
Is that because his name sounds like yours?
Yeah, it's my cousin. Got to show him some love.
All right, dong picks are in. I have got Juan Soto. So if you like Matt Adams tonight, today's the perfect day to do it. Jake, you've got Ronald Acuna. And Chris is taking, I already forgot his name, Harold Ramirez?
Yeah.
Old Harry Ramirez.
Don't sleep on Miami tonight, okay? That's all I got to say.
Josh is probably going to get a bunch of Miami. A chalky pitcher going up against the Marlins, that's like Josh's dream.
Not today, buddy. Not today.
Dream scenario tonight, Miami.
They're dead last. Dead last today. So there we go. Dong picks are in. Emac, you making a dong pick? Where are you hiding? You just DM'd me. Bags is nowhere to be found.
No, it's Monday. He doesn't even check in today.
I don't blame him. I really don't blame him. That's how I feel on Saturdays. I'm just gonzo. So now let's talk hitting, because we've spent so much time on pitching through the beginning. Jake, I'll throw it to you to start. What's popping up most for you in a stack perspective?
The Atlanta Braves are popping up for me. I mean, a decent chance of being the top stack. Nothing crazy, but they're also not getting as much ownership as they should be based on their chances of being the top stack. And then you just get some bats with a lot of power going up against the pitcher that's getting ownership. So obviously, I love Acuna. I love Freddie Freeman anytime he's priced up like this and not getting a ton of ownership. And then Donaldson's kind of your obvious value guy. But even the secondary pieces, I like Markakis, McCann, Albies. Those guys are all finding their way onto a lot of my rosters against Musgrove.
Emac pick is in Anthony Rendon. Speak of the devil. Although he was looking at Matt Adams, Emac does like those hefty boys. Matt Adams, one of those guys. So yeah, Rendon is in. All of the dong picks are now officially in. Chris, what are you looking at for stacks today?
I think one of my top stacks, Philly for sure, bearing any type of weather situation there.
Yeah.
But I've been getting a lot of the Tampa Bay Rays going at home. They got one of the highest run implied totals with 5.6. And the thing I love too is they got a lot of bats that are affordable to really give me space for sale. This matchup against this Tanner Anderson pitcher could be in line for a hefty night for the Rays bats. I'm really liking what I see here in the matchup.
So I have a little bit of interest in Rays. More so on FanDuel than I do on DK. But I'm with you there on the Phillies. I'm going to have a hard time getting away from them, and I desperately need that game to just happen. And I feel good about it since I don't care much about the pitching. So I don't care if it takes them 12 hours to play that game.
12 hours?
Well, I mean, that's fine with me. It's going to be really annoying for like stat corrections and stuff, but I'll take what I can get.
I like Philly. I have a bunch of Harper and Segura, and then the rest of the guys are just kind of sprinkled in, Real Muto and guys like that, Hoskins. So I think, they're kind of a more obvious stack. I think there's a bunch of these stacks that are kind of priced up, but also decent value when you add in some of their really good value bats. What do you guys think about like the White Sox and the Dodgers? Because those are two of the teams that we have is going a little bit over-owned compared to the top stack tool.
I like one of those teams a lot.
White Sox?
The Dodgers.
I like the Dodgers.
Okay.
You guys both guessed. And you both went both directions, so it was perfect.
Cover our bases, man.
I greatly prefer the Dodgers to the White Sox. What about you guys?
Yeah,
Well, I mean, you wouldn't be choosing between one another. I was just saying in general.
I don't expect. I'll put it this way: I don't expect to have the White Sox. I expect to have the Dodgers.
Okay.
I'm just really thrown off by this 6.2 run implied in total that the White Sox have. That's really high. I'm just really confused right now on this, and the ownership is not really there outside of Eloy Jimenez. So I would feel more confident rostering the Dodgers bats who do crush right-handed pitching, and Muncy, Peterson, Bellinger, Seager. Give me all of that. I'll take it.
Jake, where are you at?
Did you say 6.2 for the White Sox?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing 4.8. What do you see, Josh?
I have 4.8.
Okay.
All right. Well, clearly something is wrong because I'm looking at it and I was very confused. I'm on the lineup builder right now.
Oh, okay. Sometimes they get flipped.
Yeah.
That's happened a couple of times, but that could be it. It could be 6.2 for the Nats. What do you have the Nats at?
It's 6.2 for the Nats.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I would imagine that's a typo unless something really drastically changed.
Yeah.
Totals before the show started, I had the total at 10.5. So even a little bit higher is going to be hard.
The point still stands. For their prices, you're getting a near 5 implied total for a bunch of guys that are priced in the 3K range. Their most expensive bat on DK is 4,400, and that's Yohan Moncada. So that, I mean, I'm perfectly fine with the White Sox at the very least as fillers, even though I know Chris, you mentioned you also had some interest in Anibal.
Yeah, I mean, I think Eloy Jimenez would probably be the one guy I would want to roster as a one-off. But outside of that, really don't have any interest, especially at the bottom of the lineup. And then Anibal Sanchez, I mean, I really do like him on FanDuel, especially if I'm choosing between him and Darvish or Gossman. But outside of that, I think one other stack, I mean, they're really not geared up to have a lot as far as an implied total, but I do like the Angels tonight against Ryu as a contrarian play, just in a couple shares of them at home against the lefty. They've been hitting left-hand pitching really good lately, so I'd be interested to see kind of this matchup tonight unfold.
I like that idea. Nobody's going to be there. Their ownership is really, really low, and they're kind of set up well to face him. So I have a little bit of intrigue in that one.
They have power. They have power. They have pop. And if a team has power and pop and they can score runs, why not take a couple chances and a couple shares of them?
And in an already random sport, like, you know, it's more random when the ball's put in play, and they're really good at putting the ball in play, like best in the league. So, yeah, I'm wondering if I'm going to get to any of them. Like, I'll get to some Trout, but their secondary pieces also, Puelo and Pujols and like Lucroy, $2,500 at catcher. Not the worst options, point per dollar. So, yeah, it looks like they're going completely overlooked. I don't mind that call.
All right, so we've talked about things we like. Let's talk about things we dislike. What are your biggest fades today from a stack perspective? Who are you not on that the public seems to be slamming?
Let's see where I'm at here.
The White Sox are kind of in that realm for me on DraftKings.
I would say the White Sox, probably the Diamondbacks. I'm not getting too much of them. And I had no Mets bats, so we can just take that out of the equation now because of the weather. No rain, like very few Rangers, only like 1 or 2 stacks just because they get to sail. And then no A's whatsoever, no White Sox. And outside of that, that's pretty much the teams. Pirates, I haven't really seen, but now I'm kind of thinking maybe I should go back to the drawing board for a minute because they did just rock Gossman, and maybe they might have an edge on him again. But outside of that, that's pretty much it.
I kind of wish I was getting to more Pirates, so that's not like a fade I'm intentionally trying to make. Let's see. I'm not getting to a lot of Cardinals, and then I guess Tampa is also no, not Tampa. Actually, I'm seeing a couple of other hitters that I'm getting quite a bit. But like I thought I would be getting way, way more $4,500 and $4,700 Mookie Betts and JD Martinez. So I guess I'm not getting to a ton of the Sox either.
Diamondbacks Phillies late start.
That's a good thing, no?
Um,
On that game.
Yeah, should be fine. Oh, gonna be scary. So we haven't really talked about the Rockies. We've talked about you, Darvish, and I've talked about the pitching, but this is a Coors game. Rockies have the highest implied total on the slate. Are we missing something here? Should we be talking more about Colorado? Or are they getting pinched out because of Chris Sale?
Exactly. They're getting pinched out because 58, 59, 53, 55, and 5K for the first 5 hitters.
That'll do it.
Yeah. When you're trying to jam in, even if you go, like me and Adam were doing it this morning, even if you try to go Sale with Sale with Tanner Anderson, the Oakland pitcher who sucks, you're still...
Tell me how you really feel, man.
Yeah. Adam was looking up this. I asked him if he was decent, and he just looked at me and shook his head and said, absolutely not. Like a 14% K rate in the minors and a high walk rate and stuff. So it's baseball. Things can happen. Like he could get you 15 here, but even if you do that with Sale, like you basically can't 5-man stack Colorado if you're trying to get those top end bats.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be a tough squeeze there. I have not seen much of them coming up. And who are the FanDuel names that aren't in the player pool? Tanner Anderson and Despagne.
Yeah, he's not anywhere.
No. Are you playing any Tanner Anderson at 4K? We didn't really touch on him.
Yep, I'm playing him.
Figured as much.
Let's see. I had 10% of him. I'm okay with that. And it's probably, of those 15 lineups, I would guess 13 or 14 are with Sale.
Okay. Chris, are you playing on DraftKings at all tonight?
Yeah, I'm actually. I was just trying to fit in what Jake was saying about stacking Colorado with Sale and a low price pitcher, and it gets really tough to squeeze in some good 3 bats if you really try.
Are you playing any Anderson?
No.
Okay.
None whatsoever. I like Tampa too much as a stack, so I'm not going near Anderson at all. Not even for the 4K.
That's fair. I'm really nervous about this Angels lineup. It's starting to make me think that David Fletcher is not going to be leading off. He does have the Q tag on him.
Fletcher's not in the lineup.
What'd you say?
I think you can live if David Fletcher's not in the lineup.
Sure, but he is projected to lead off, which makes things a little bit difficult.
Well, looking at the other side, maybe you could swap to Verdugo. It's not perfect,
sure,
but at least for your outfield spots on DraftKings. I don't know what the position eligibilities are. On FanDuel, it looks like, he's a shortstop. How? Okay.
Here we go.
Possible. Third base and outfield on DraftKings, shortstop on FanDuel. Does this guy just play everywhere? I don't watch many Angels games.
I have no idea. I don't catch a lot of David Fletcher fielding highlights. You'd be surprised. Chris, you're on the West Coast. You catching a lot of Angels games? What do you know about David Fletcher's fielding ability in his actual position?
He's like he's a good utility man.
I guess.
Marwin Gonzalez.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh yeah, Marwin for that stretch had like 2 positions on DK and then a completely different position on FanDuel. So that's always fun.
Yeah.
I am happy that we only have 8 games because at the very least, Fantasy Cruncher is moving.
Yeah, it is. I'm noticing that as well. I almost got my 600 in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, you can't beat that. I think we've kind of hit on everything. Is there anything that we haven't talked about that you guys wanted to make sure that you got in? Any hot takes that you want to get on the record?
No.
Hot takes? I don't know. Chris seems to have the hot takes that have been working out lately. He came on here talking about Vargas again, and then the Angels stack. So he's starting to make me think here. I don't know if he wants to give away all of his hot takes though tonight.
Do you have any more?
I got this insider information, man. Just got
Marlins too. You said the Marlins, Harold Ramirez. I don't know. I'm starting to think you're maybe a from the future.
Yeah. Do you have the almanac?
I do not, but I do feel confident in the Marlins tonight, and I'll stand behind that.
That would be the way to do it, though, if you had the almanac, to be coming on shows and just being like, I'm going to take this garbage guy today because I think he's just going to be fantastic. And then you just become the guy that's able to call all of the most ridiculous stuff.
But you'd also have to make some bad calls. Otherwise, everybody would know something's up. So.
True.
Yeah, I've thought about that. If I ever had it and I moved to Vegas, like planning out the bets that I wanted to lose. I've thought about this way too much. Yeah, just like... you pick like 12 games in the day, and then you just sort of like have a random number generator that lets you know that you'll maintain like whatever ROI over the course of whatever stretch you need, just to like make sure that they don't drag you out into some desert and cut your fingers off or something.
Yeah, dangerous game.
It is. Yeah, I am crunching out lineups like a boss right now.
I'm seeing some talk, if you guys want to, just give your takes quick about the basketball game tonight. Seeing some Durant talk. Who wins NBA tonight? So you guys got any hot takes on that?
I'm actually going to play. I registered for the Minimax on DK.
I like to hear.
Because I expect this to be the last NBA game of the season. And I don't know what I'm cheering for any longer. People hate the Warriors so much that I'm starting to like the Warriors even more. So I might have to put the Warriors shirt and hat on today.
Yeah, I agree. I don't agree with this. I don't agree with Durant playing tonight. And I don't even think it's going to matter. Their defense is just amazing. Nick Nurse is really out-coaching Kerr right now.
Yeah.
If you think about it, in more ways than one. Leonard is just playing like the best player in the world right now. I hate to say it, but on both ends, he's just a beast. And no one can guard him. And Durant hasn't played basketball contact 5-on-5 since this morning, the first time he did a shoot around, and you expect him to go in there and start. He's not going to have a minutes restriction. I just feel like it's a formula for a disaster. But here's the thing, and I just want to make this a take real quick because I just feel like this is exactly what some of the players want on the Warriors, for them to all go their separate ways. And I think this will be the last game that all of them play together as a team.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Durant's gone.
You got Durant being gone, but what about like Clay possibly?
No, he's
Clay's
not going
gone.
anywhere.
Yeah, Clay's gone.
You're out of your mind. No way. Not going
gone.
anywhere. Not going anywhere.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
He's not going anywhere. So you think you're assuming that he's the shooting guard for the Los Angeles Lakers next year?
No, I think Cousins will go to the Lakers, to be honest with you.
Well, then where do you have Clay going? That's the only option. He's only going to the Lakers if he's leaving the Warriors.
Why is he only going to the Lakers?
Yeah, why is he only going to Lakers?
His dad's there. He's a commentator. That's the only move.
No, it's not. I mean, he could.
What do you think? He's going to go to the Pistons or something?
He could go to Toronto.
But he's not going to Toronto. They already have other Clay. His name's Danny Green.
He's.
Oh my God, that is so disrespectful.
That's so disrespectful.
Look, Danny Green is like the knockoff Clay Thompson.
It's not even close.
Even I know those are two different caliber players.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're comparable. I'm saying that Danny Green is the stepped-on version of Klay Thompson.
I just don't want you getting in trouble by the time YouTube chat catches up here. I don't need another, was it D'Angelo Russell situation?
Yeah, I'll continue to be right about that, too. They're going to just let him walk and not bring him back like he's a real all-star or something. Shocked.
I'm just waiting for the comments here.
Oh, God. I'm nervous right now.
I'm not saying that Danny Green is like some sort of outstanding basketball player. He's just the stepped-on version of Klay. It's a compliment to everybody, in my opinion. They might not take it as such.
Danny Green.
There it is.
Danny Green plays no defense.
If Danny Green plays no defense, he wouldn't be in the league because that's basically what he's known for.
No, Danny Green used to play defense, but now he's washed up because he can't keep up with these young guns.
He's an outstanding team defender. Outstanding.
You're really looking at defensive metrics for help defense, Josh?
What about defensive metrics for help defense?
I don't know. How do you know he's a good team defender?
Hey, I have a question.
Hit
Will
me.
Kevin Durant be in the winning showdown lineup tonight?
What's his price?
I think it was 13.
No.
Okay. What do you think, Jake?
Durant. So I am a showdown fish. I played a lot of it.
I've started playing and I hate it.
I might chuck in some lineups tonight. The game starts at 9 Eastern, right? So I've got time after this. I don't know. I might play just because it's so much more fun playing DFS. But I don't. What do we have projected for ownership for him? I guess would be the question as far as playing like Durant at captain. So we have captain ownership. We do have single showdown slate ownership. So if you guys want to join, this would be the night to do it. Let's see what we have for him for captain. Oh, we have him at only 3% on DraftKings. That seems like a pretty good risk to take. Like if I'm making 150, I have 10% or 15% of Durant at captain. I don't know. Who knows how healthy he is? I mean, we know as much as anyone else, right? That's not in the Warriors organization.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I would say he's not in the winning captain lineup, and it'd be more like Kawhi or Steph or someone like that. At least we know they're somewhat healthy.
That's my guess as well. I have a hard time thinking that Durant is, just because of his price tag.
Yeah.
Could be wrong. Either way, I wanted to have some skin in the game for tonight.
Oh, you gotta.
KD going to change everything, even if he is 75% healthy. Yeah, because 75% of KD is still better than Alfonso McKinney.
You guys got any takes on the NHL? Quick.
It's going to Game 7, right?
It's Game 7.
When's that? Tomorrow?
It is Wednesday. So yeah, Wednesday.
Okay. Yeah, I've got all the takes. Brett Hull versus.
He was there last night, by the way. Really drunk, Brett Hull. He was pumping up the crowd.
Bet he was.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I don't have any hockey takes. I don't watch any of it, as you know.
Yeah,
Chris.
well, my takes have been all wrong, so probably don't want to listen to me this series. I haven't been right in a single thing. So
Who wins the cup?
I thought it was St. Louis the whole series until last night when they laid an egg, but I'll stick with St. Louis. I hope they win too.
Chris, any hockey takes?
I mean, I played my first NHL DFS last night, so.
Did you bink the tournament?
Nah, did horrible.
You'll get into it. You'll get into NHL next year. I'll get you going on that.
Well, thank God it's the last game, because definitely got a little bored last night because I didn't do too well in baseball yesterday. But I'm gonna go with I don't like Boston anything, so I'm gonna roll with the Blues.
I like it.
Go Boston.
So just getting back to baseball really quick, since I got us off topic. My second highest pitcher is actually Michael Wacha. So Chris or I is winning all the money tonight, either with your Marlin stack or my Wacha shares.
Waka.
I like
it.
it.
God.
Was that to me?
Yeah, that was to you.
Okay, I figured as much.
No, that one actually wasn't that bad. I've heard.
I mean, that's not exactly like a new joke or anything, you know?
No, I think we hear that one every 5 or 6 days.
Yeah, for sure. All right, 56 lineups. So I need 58. So I'm under the field on sale on FanDuel, which is not something I expected to happen.
On DraftKings?
On FanDuel.
What's he at on FanDuel?
30 something. 33. I have 24.
Oh, LA lineup out.
Of course it is. Is Fletcher hitting?
Fletcher is not leading off. He is not in the lineup. It is second base / third base Tommy La Stella at 3,800. So that's a fun post-lock situation that you've got if you play a lot of Angels.
Dude, so I have 1% total ownership to the Angels. The only guy getting that 1%, David Fletcher. It's not even Trout. Oh, it's so annoying. So annoying. On DraftKings, however, quite a bit of Chris Sale, 81%. So there's that, which is
I got
nice.
74. But after that, it's Wacha at 26, and then no hitter above 25. Freeman got the closest to 20 at 24.
Phillies, Red Sox, Cardinals. How much time do I have? 4 minutes? Okay. Phillies, Chris, do you have all of your lineups in?
I'm putting in my last one right now.
Okay. I didn't want to bug you if you were in the middle of it all. Live before lock is an interesting beast.
It's easier with 3, though. I will say that.
It certainly is. I love throwing to you guys just so that I could stop worrying about it.
Yeah. Let's see here. Josh, is there anything that you find super interesting about your crunches that you're seeing?
Yeah, I have 40% Herman Marquez on FanDuel.
Wow.
Go big or go home, boys. I have a ton on DraftKings as well, but FanDuel is particularly wild considering I'm under on sale, which might be the first time that I'm under on the top pitcher in my model all season. Yeah, and it's not like I added in. So I add in the Osmo site projections to aggregate because I always think that it's better to aggregate a projection source. That only made it go up. Sale projected very well via Alex and Marquez very poorly. I am going a different direction. Look, I dug into Marquez a little bit earlier today. Let me just make sure my uploads went in. DraftKings successfully, FanDuel successfully.
Yeah.
Okay.
Click on that lineups page. Make sure that those are all in because, God, that's like my worst fear is you think you upload and then you look and all your lineups, like you go to upcoming and everything's the same lineup. So I always make sure that I've got at least a few different ones.
Yeah, so when I looked at Marquez, his strikeout rate over the past calendar year in Coors is still massive. All of his numbers look fantastic. So I have no real reason to avoid him in Colorado if he's always just been good in Colorado. So I'm hoping that continues. What is the natural pivot from Fletcher? Is there one from the Angels?
So if you want to do the Excel version, you can on DraftKings, you can just edit entries and then find replace with La Stella and Fletcher and just see if that works. But he's $500 more.
I only have one lineup. I was just trying to think of like one guy that I can naturally switch on FanDuel and DK.
Third base on DraftKings. Man, is there one? I don't know.
Shortstop on FanDuel under 2,900. Kevin Newman, come on down.
Jung Ho Gong, if he's a third baseman.
He's like 800% owned.
Well, better hope you have a contrarian lineup elsewhere.
I'm replacing Fletcher with Kevin Newman on FanDuel. And on DK, I'm going to swap Fletcher out for... You say he has third base eligibility on FanDuel or on DraftKings?
Yeah, he does.
Wait, no. Third. I only have him in the outfield, so...
Oh, okay.
I need a 3,300 or less outfielder.
Boy.
Well, I stuck to my word, and I went and stacked Miami in the $888 tournament on FanDuel.
Oh, my. So you got to have some pretty, I mean, without giving away your lineup, you can just nod your head. You got to have some pretty good options elsewhere. Maybe a top price pitcher and maybe some quality bats and some thin air.
Yeah, I mean, it's everything's locked now, and there's overlay in this tournament, which is really nice. Yeah, so there's about 25 spots that didn't fill out of 375, so that's pretty huge.
That's what is that? 8% overlay?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah. So, I went with Sale, and I got some Marlins bats.
There we go.
You know,
Locke is just gonna get torched, and you're gonna bank everything,
dude. You know what? It's one of those nights where if I could do this and call this live on Live Before Lock, and it happens, we could celebrate.
Makes for a hell of a soundbite, that's for sure.
And I will say I stuck to it, and I held my man Harold Ramirez in this lineup.
Oh yeah, you have to. That would be fraudulent if you didn't.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah. So let's see what happens.
Anything else, guys?
That's all I got.
Wow.
Go Raptors.
Yeah, I'm about to go make these showdown lineups now.
If I'm being honest, I want the Raptors to win solely because I just don't want to talk about basketball any longer, and I don't want to update projections. I want like a couple months off.
True.
So hit the like button on your way out the door. Subscribe to the channel because it's honestly incredibly helpful for you and for us. If you want to sign up with us, use the promo code LIVEBEFORELOCK, one big word. you can get 50% off your first month with us. We'll be back tomorrow morning, myself and Laffy kicking it off for the strategy show. Normal day of Tuesday content. We'll get Ben and Tim talking U.S. Open, big golf week this week. Millie, all sorts of fun giveaways. So come check it all out. Good luck tonight, everybody. We'll talk to you again later.
Take it easy, guys.